It's time for a Minute in Agriculture. This Minute in Agriculture is brought to you by the Wyoming Farm Bureau Federation. Today, we're visiting with Garie and Karen Henry. Garie and Karen are Uinta County ranchers. And Garie and Karen, can you just briefly describe your ranch for us?
We're a cow-calf operation. We run on public range land. Our ranch is over 100 years old. We raise beef cattle. And
it's a family operation, of course. We have our son and his wife who are full partners in the ranch with us, so we pass it down from generation to generation. Garie's the fourth generation, so our son's fifth and his is sixth, and we have little great-grandkids that'll be seventh.
This has been a Minute in Agriculture. This Minute in Agriculture brought to you by the Wyoming Farm Bureau Federation. Time for a Minute in Agriculture, brought to you by the Wyoming Farm Bureau Federation. Today, we're visiting with Uinta County ranchers Garie and Karen Henry.
What does it mean to you to be a rancher in Wyoming?
When I was president of the Wyoming Farm Bureau, that's why I worked so hard, so that farmers and ranchers could pass their heritage on to their heirs. It means the world to me to be a rancher in Wyoming because Wyoming is the greatest state in the Union. We live near the mountains. We're on the north slope of the high Uintas. It's God's country, and it means the world to all of us.
it means the world to me. I've worked other jobs in my lifetime and always come back to the ranch. I was able to work other jobs that taught me how to be a mechanic and how to operate heavy equipment, and therefore our ranch is pretty much self-sufficient as far as mechanical end of things. We know how to dig ditches and things like that. It's a good feeling to be a rancher in Wyoming.
This has been a Minute in Agriculture, brought to you by the Wyoming Farm Bureau Federation. Time for a Minute in Agriculture, brought to you by the Wyoming Farm Bureau Federation. Today we're visiting with Uinta County ranchers Garie and Karen Henry.
What's a typical day like for you guys?
I could say there is no typical day. Everyone's different. You might be working cows one day, repairing fence the next day, hauling bolts to the mountains the next day. It's just daylight till dark and on beyond.
What are some of the biggest issues that are impacting your ranch right now?
Right now, federal regulation, things like the Clean Water Act, the
Endangered species.
endangered species, the EPA wanting to control all the water in the world. Waters of the USA is what I'm talking about.
Overregulation is really a problem, and it impacts us through the price of diesel, the price of fertilizer. Every one of our inputs into the ranch is affected by overregulation of the federal government.
This has been a Minute in Agriculture, brought to you by the Wyoming Farm Bureau Federation.